Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/maliciouscompliance, where people conform to the letter but not the spirit of a request. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some malicious compliance. You want to finish late tonight and start early tomorrow? No problem. Hi, I drive charter tour coaches for a living. Our industry is very heavily regulated, as it should be, as we carry the most valuable of cargo, your family/kids/relatives. And if I fall asleep and hit your car, well, you can work it out. Now, one of the rules is after a working day, a minimum of time in complete rest must be given undisturbed, by law. This time can be reduced, but only 3 times a work period, between 2 weekly rest periods, basically between your days off. Another interesting rule is, by law, if your rest is disturbed, your rest must restart as though you have had no rest. This will be important later. It sounds confusing, but I can only have 9 hours rest 3 times a week. And the rest must be 11 hours, minimum. Less than 11 complete hours rest period, and it's treated like I had 9 hours only, even if it's 10 hours 59 minutes. Because of this, most tour companies keep rest periods to 11 hours minimum, looking on the reduced rest as a just in case we get held up and get finished late, etc. So we can start on time the next day and stick to the itinerary. Now, we worked with one tour company. I'll call them Mega Cheap Tours, and their tour leaders like to squeeze every last bit of driving out of their tour hires. Excursions all day to some out of the way flea pit. As long as the tour leader gets a kickback, travel to hotel, then a dinner transfer and back to the hotel at night. None of it as the itinerary stated. Most good companies eat close or in their hotel to allow the driver to rest, but for these guys, cheapest was best. And if that meant an hour there and an hour back at night, so be it. Screw the driver, we are paying for him. The reason for this is the tour leader got a kickback if they ate at the tour leader's favourite spot, and they had one in every overnight stop. I had spoken to my traffic manager about how these guys just ignored the itinerary and was just told, just do what they say, they are the customer. Now, I was working with one tour leader, we will call him Juan. Well known for not only working you to death, but also stiffing you on your gratuities. He collected them from the passengers on the last day as we travelled to the airport to help you, sat behind you, then placed them in an envelope you knew was light from experience. It's the last day of the tour. Tomorrow I get rid of them all at the airport. And good riddance, I thought, as the passengers are in an excursion. One comes to the coach. We need to go here for dinner tonight. He passes me the address. I look at the sat-nav. That's 1.25 hours away from our hotel tonight. You lot will be eating for 2 hours, then a 1 hour 15 back. Then I need to shut down the coach and park it. I won't be finished until about 11 PM. He looks at me. I know the rules. You only need 9 hours rest. We will leave at 8 AM, plenty of time for a 2 PM flight. International. He was right, of course, but remember that 3 times a week thing? He had already had me on short rest 3 times this trip, owing to dinner transfers. Not 9 hours, but 10 hours something each time. This guy already pushed it to the max. It was at this point malicious compliance kicked in. You're right, I can work after 9 hours rest. I changed the subject quickly as he smiled at me, thinking he had screwed me over. Well, the dinner transfer was worse than I thought. Heavy traffic getting there meant I was late, which meant they started eating late, which of course meant they came back late. By the time I had parked at the hotel, it was closer to midnight. I knew what was coming in the morning, so phoned my 24-hour traffic department. As I expected, I was told under no circumstances I was told to break the law and run without my legal rest. There's massive fines for the company and for me if I did. Normally, I set 2 alarms when I'm on reduced rest, as, to be honest, it takes its toll, and I need them to get up. But tonight, I set nothing, and took my hotel phone off the hook. I went to bed. I woke up to thumping on my hotel door. There was a hotel manager and a very irate one. "You stupid driver, it's 8 AM. Everyone is outside, checked out with luggage, and you've slept in. Get dressed and get to the coach." I smiled. 1, I'm on my legal break. We got back nearly at midnight, so I can't start to nearly 9. But besides, I've worked 3 times after reduced rest this trip, and can't go anywhere until 11 hours undisturbed rest. Also, you've just disturbed my rest, as this gentleman can confirm. I was friendly with the hotel staff. They used the same hotels every trip, and the staff hated Juan's trips, as he never tipped. Or rather his guests did through his suggestion, but he collected it to hand in, which means by law my rest period resets and starts again. But you know this, as you know the rules, right? So, see you at 7 PM tonight. I'm cool for a late checkout, right? I said to the manager, who was nodding enthusiastically, knowing what I'd just done. One's eyes nearly bulged out of his head, which was funny. "Wait, what do you mean? We need to get a 2 PM flight." "I know," I said. "Best start organising taxis for the 40 odd people out there, and next trip don't stitch up your driver," as I shut the door on them both. I knew what was about to happen. Within 5 minutes, my own phone rang, the traffic manager, asking what time I finished the night before. Then saying you can start at 9, until I pointed out the 3 late finishes. Silence. Then, "Well, you're right, but don't expect to be doing any more of this company's tours. They will request we never send you." I asked if he wanted me to drive without legal rest. I knew he wouldn't dare say yes, as I could be recording it. "No, you must take legal rest. This is the tour leader's problem. Of his making, if he had stuck to the itinerary's hours, everything would be fine. Just do me a favour and start at 11 AM, not 7 PM. We need the coach back here tonight." I knew when to not push it any further, and said I would be happy to start at 11 AM, and would start getting ready now and go down for breakfast. An hour later, I went down and saw Juan surrounded by angry passengers screaming at him with a phone to his ear. He saw me and came over. "Mr. Driver, please, I know my company can get a coach to hire and it's 40 miles to the airport, and our flight leaves in just over 4 hours. My company are mad I've not left you legal rest, and blaming me. Please help me." I couldn't resist. 1. If you use all those gratuities you have stolen from me and everyone else over the years, you will be able to afford to hire 10 taxis no problem, and make the flight. But I would be quick about it, otherwise you might get stuck with 40 odd replacement flights as well as taxis. 1 gulped, eye bulge, and went white, all in one. It was funny to watch, and ran to reception asking for 10 taxis. What was funnier was when the taxi showed up, they said he needed another 4 or 5 just for the luggage. Each person had 2 massive suitcases. I just sat watching the show through the window, eating my breakfast and drinking my coffee. The staff thought I was a hero, and all smirked and looked on from their respective posts. I knew after this, no tips from the passengers would change hands, and the cost of those taxis would hit his current fiddle bankroll hard, or so I hoped. My boss was right. I never have, nor never will do this company's tours again. It was quickly passed back, I was not wanted. But Juan has never been back leading this company's tours either. My ex-colleagues, I knew my cards are marked as trouble, and found another job with another charter company very easily. have told me that now the tour leaders are told by their head office to never give the drivers less than 11 hours off every night, and factor this into any dinner transfers. If it can't be accommodated, then no dinner transfer, and no off-itinerary excursions, period. You just know it's a good malicious compliance when the company literally changes their policy as a result of you. Sir, I followed your instructions and we only have 50 minutes. I am a licensed massage therapist and at one point worked for a national franchise chain. This chain, and others, will have hour-long appointments, but the actual massage is 50 minutes. 5 minutes for intake and disrobing, 50-minute massage, 5 minutes for exit interview/dressing, and room turnover. As such, we licensed massage therapists have our timing down to an art. If someone asks for focus work on, say, their shoulders, we have a time plan to take it away from their arms, legs, or feet to accommodate. I had a client come in and request a full body massage, with focus on his lower back. We had a plan figured out. I know where I'm pulling time from and communicated that with him, and off we go. As I'm re-draping his back so I can move to his leg, he asks me to go back and spend more time on his back. We're already 25 minutes into his 50 minutes at this point. We still have both legs, back and front, arms, and neck/head to do. I tell him and he says that's fine, just spend a little more time on his back. So I revisit his low back for a few minutes, then go to his leg. I finish his calf and move to his hamstrings, and he asks me to go back to his calf. I remind him of the time and his full body request. He said he knew, but his calf needs more attention. Fine, if this is how he wants to spend his time, so be it. So I redo his calf until he says, "You can move on now." And so I do. This pattern continues with his hamstring. "Ooh, do that again. Oh, you can move on. Spend more time there. Okay, move on." And the entire back of his other leg. When he is face up, I finish one leg, then re-drape him entirely, and let him know that I am stepping out so he can dress. I thought this was going to be a full body massage. It was going to be, but I was asked to keep revisiting areas. But I wanted a full body massage. Sir, I followed your instructions exactly. But you only finished one leg. I reminded you of the time and followed your instructions exactly. Couldn't argue with that. I'm sorry, but this guy is literally just an idiot. Like, why would you not just book 2 hours? If you wanted things done like that much, just book 2 hours. How dare you exist in only one place at once? I work as an everyman IT contractor for the government, which is a problem in itself. There are only 2 IT guys, me included, for over a dozen building campus. In my side of government work, since you can't really be fired unless for extreme circumstance, you get a corrective action plan. Last month, I got one such corrective action plan for literally not being in 2 meetings at the same time. Dingbat directors schedule, again, only 2 IT professionals for multiple meetings overlapping each other, and I have personally been yanked from one meeting, back to another, back to another. On my comments for last month's cap, I stated, "Did not supply cloning device." No one got it, or even reached out for comment. Just last week, I was at the head site director's office. I told her, "You know, tomorrow administration has me scheduled for a 10 and a 10:15 in different conference rooms." She said curtly, "I know, make it happen." I called off that day. On my return the next day, I had 2 corrective action plans waiting for me, one for each meeting I missed. He needs to go on Craigslist and look for a doppelganger and just have him sit there and just say nothing, but he's in the meeting, so he's technically complying. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.